Welcome to the Football Pyramid Talk podcast. Available to listen to on YouTube and Spotify. George, Simon and Sterling as your hosts. 7 different leagues. Enjoy the episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 19 of the Football Pyramid Talk podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed the little introduction bit before the start of this podcast. Bit of editing going on before that, but we're now into the episode and we're back with our first and returning special guest in Michael Cunningham. Welcome back, mate. Round 2.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's an honour to be invited back for a second time.
Absolutely, mate. And obviously we have the main man himself, Sterling, back another week after your birthday. Happy birthday for the weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Sound like you had a good time as well, so...
Very nice.
All
Very
good.
good weekend.
There you go. Very good weekend.
24 now, mate. Getting old.
Getting on, aren't you?
Getting on.
Getting
old boy. Experienced head.
Yeah, got experience. Experience, mate. That's always good, isn't it? But in this podcast, we've got a lot of talking points, FA Cup action, and a lot of Premier League talking points and talking points throughout the football pyramid. But we'll get straight into it with a game which has really shaken up the title race, hasn't it, Sterling? Aston Villa got a massive win over league leaders Arsenal.
Yeah, it was on Saturday. I didn't actually watch the game, but it's been a massive twist in the tale, really, with what we'll speak about later on about City. But yeah, Villa, last minute, Emi Buendia, I think that was his 4th goal of the season. Yeah, up to 6 goal contributions as well for him. 2 assists to match it. But crazy scenes. It was absolute carnage in the away end to watch the highlights. I mean, the goal was a bit scruffy, Arsenal defending for their lives. Maybe you start to think if they had Gabriel Saliba. Did Saliba play? Actually, I'm not sure. No, he didn't. Didn't think so. So maybe start to think if they had them, would things have been different, but they couldn't clear their lines. And then eventually it broke to him and he smashed it in. And it was carnage. Villa Park, we all know. I think we've all been up there, haven't we? George, have you been up there?
No, I ain't yet.
No, not yet, mate. Well, if you brave it, then you'll probably be disappointed. But, like, you went up to the 7-1.
6-1, wasn't it?
6-1, something like that.
Bad enough, mate, yeah.
Yeah. But it's such a tough place to go, and the carnage at the end was... Yeah, it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it looked like absolute limbs, didn't it? I think it all sort of got built up by the way it broke to Buendia, because it's sort of like the, oh, go on, oh, it's sort of them sort of moments. You think the attack's going to actually end, but he smashed it into the back of the net. And as you say, Sterling, absolute carnage. And I think it was a deserved win, and Villa are on absolutely cracking run of form. They beat Brighton in midweek and then go and beat Arsenal the same week, you know, not being biased, but before that win for Villa against Brighton had lost at home since they lost to Villa last season. So to win 2 games against, you know, that calibre of opposition in the same week, I think is a really good statement sort of for them and how their seasons sort of come to life, because we were speaking poorly about them, about, you know, they might be a bit too slow, and, you know, they started off really poorly with no wins in the first 4 or something, was it? And they hadn't scored, and they've sort of just brushed that aside. And, you know, some fans are saying they're in, I mean, it's probably all Villa fans, but they're in with a shout in the title race. I don't know about that, but... Well,
they are only 3 points off Arsenal.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Could be a Leicester, couldn't it?
In the league. Yeah. I mean, Villa are a better team than Leicester were, to be fair. But yeah, you're definitely right. 7 wins in a row in all comps for Villa. And yeah, we were critical, weren't we? But watching them at the Amex midweek, we spoke highly, or no, not highly, in detail about the formation and saying how it was really weird. And it was weird on, was it Wednesday night?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting tactically. Morgan Rogers, I think, is a brilliant player, but that's just another side note. But yeah, really interesting the way they all interchange and move about. And I think that Emery's he's brilliant because he reminds me of that what's that meme we all laugh about, Mikey? Yeah, that Wan-Bissaka. Brilliant.
Southampton
Yeah.
fan or something. Yeah.
Yeah. He wins that ball so much. Yeah, no, Emery's brilliant because he got it exactly right against Brighton going in behind, and he just finds a way to adapt to the teams they're playing. So, yeah, really good win for Villa, and I expect maybe another bottle for Arsenal as it gets closer. What do you reckon, Mikey?
Yeah, mate. Honestly, one of my good mates is an Arsenal fan, and I've made a £50 bet. I'm like, mate, I'm so convinced. I've seen this before, mate. I'm so convinced it's going to happen again. And what makes it even better is they're on their high at the moment. You know, they think, oh, maybe it's finally going to happen. But if it's not for Villa, it's going to be Man City. Guardiola's got that level of professionalism, and just he'll motivate them. He'll know that if Liverpool are not going to win the league, then it's got to be them. And I just don't see Arsenal.
Yeah, and he'll be saying that to the City squad as well. Like, we're only 2 points below them. They're going to bottle it. We've been in this position before. They don't know how to deal with it. You could just imagine it, can't you?
Yeah.
But just on Villa, last thing I wanted to say was probably a good thing for England is Watkins is looking somewhat back. Obviously, 2 goals against the Albion wasn't ideal. Knew he was going to score against Brighton. He always does, doesn't he?
Every time. He's got 9 goals against us, which is 3 more than any other team he's ever played against. He's got, it's just, and then when did you see, I don't know, you're a bit to the left of me when you're in the North Stand, aren't you, Sterling? When he scored that goal, because we were saying you're just a shit Danny Welbeck, he literally got the ball and screamed in our faces.
I saw it.
Oh,
I saw it
God.
on the highlights.
Yeah, so annoying.
But good news for England, though, probably, because...
Definitely.
Well, realistically, Welbeck's not going to get picked, and Watkins is going to go. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think Welbeck should be picked, but Watkins
Deserves to
definitely
go.
will go.
Deserves to go, but
Yeah.
yeah. But
But, yeah.
anyway, yeah, we'll move on to a game which was in midweek, which we didn't talk about. Obviously, we filmed on a Monday night, but 5-4 to Manchester City against Fulham. What a game of football! I wasn't able to watch it. I don't know if either of you two were. I was at football training, but when I looked at the score, when I got back from training, I saw it was a 9-goal thriller. I couldn't really believe my eyes.
I had the... sorry to interrupt you. I had the Bournemouth versus Everton game on. It was 0-0, and I was thinking, I'm not going to watch the City game. They're just going to blow them away. And I was thinking, I was right because they were 3-0 up.
Yeah.
And then they started all kicking off, and I put it on. And yeah, I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 goals in about 15 minutes, and I was cheering for them on, but to no avail, really.
Yeah, absolutely crazy game, and they followed that up on the weekend by beating a very informed Sunderland side 3-0. So, you know, it adds a bit of competitiveness, to the title race because, you know, as we said just a minute ago, only 2 points behind Arsenal now. So, with this level of consistency, Phil Foden back on form, I think, I don't know about you two, but I think they're on the right track to be league winners again this year.
Yeah, I reckon so. I see that happening.
Yeah, they just got that experience and that know-how. They just know how to navigate the season so well. Like we were saying a little bit about Arsenal there and Pep. Like when it comes into this point of the season, he knows exactly how to deal with it, how to use his squad to get the most out of them. He's a serial winner, isn't he? And to be fair, just going back to Arsenal quickly, they've had some unlucky injuries, and their squad is better now. But I don't think anybody in the league can compete with the squad that Man City have got. So yeah, I mean, Arsenal's still in the lead, but if I was going to put some money on it, I'd probably back Mikey and put 50 quid on with him.
Yeah.
It's not just for City to win the league, though, is it? It's just for Arsenal to bottle it.
Yeah, he's just so convinced that they're gonna win it. I'm just,
Nah.
mate. I've
I'd
watched
have
this
to.
episode before. I know how it ends.
Yeah. If I was betting, I'd put City to win it, to be honest. But then again, a couple of weeks ago I was saying Arsenal, so I just hope we have a nicely competitive title race, really, because we didn't last season.
Yeah, it's it's one where you sort of think it's a bit unlucky for Arsenal just on the basis of how many injuries they've had to their back line. I mean, they had to play Timber at centre half on Saturday. I'm pretty sure Ben White, one of the two, because Gabriel and Saliba are both out of injury. So it's just that hard luck, really, with injuries. We saw it with Brighton last season. It seemed like every week we were getting a player injured. And it sort of looks like that's happening with Arsenal this season. So, I mean, you can't really do much, but they have brought in the reinforcements to sort of, as I said, we all said a couple of episodes ago, if they want to win the league, they should expect these things to happen and then should be able to deal with it. So I don't know if they can at the minute. When they're playing Timber at centre half, I don't think he's even 6 foot, is he? So not a lot of aerial threat there, and yeah, I just can't see him. Competing at the level they were with Gabriel and Saliba, with Hincapié and Mosquera. And Mosquera got injured as well. That was the other one. Mosquera's injured as well. So
Yeah.
3 centre halves gone like that. So yeah, very tough situation for the back four of Arsenal at the minute.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to something you wanted to talk about, Mikey. Liverpool versus Leeds. I mean, what a game of football this was. Leeds been under the cosh recently for a poor run of form, but their last three, Farke was meant to be, these were his last 3 games to prove himself, and he's got 4 points out of 9 against 3 really good sides, haven't they?
Yeah, no, exactly. I was going to say, yeah, a win and a draw in their last 2 matches has obviously felt the pressure, and even I'm pretty sure when they went down, he stayed with them, didn't he? And he brought them back
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So they obviously know that he's able to do the job both in the Championship if they do go back down, and even in the Premier League, they've had good spells. But then again, they came up against a really poor Liverpool side, so. Um, some people would be surprised that Liverpool aren't getting points there, but they've been so poor lately, and 3-3. Both had 7 shots on target, fairly even possession. I think perhaps Liverpool maybe just edging out on possession. But yeah, as I say, yeah, Liverpool sort of continuing their poor streak at the moment. So yeah, happy to see Leeds bouncing back a little bit, and I reckon they'll probably be safe, to be honest, at the end of the season. I know it's still quite early, but I think they've just got the motivation in them that I think other clubs are lacking. Like
Yeah.
someone like Wolves, just there's no desire in them at the moment. But you can see that performance. They, especially Ellen Road is such a good atmosphere. They're all behind the team, and I see them doing quite well. But it was a
Yeah.
good match, great for neutrals to watch. And then obviously the big news after the game: Mohamed Salah lost his head in the tunnel. He obviously felt like he had to get something off his chest. I think I'm right in saying he gave the interview to some Scandinavian reporter.
Yeah,
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 it's
something like
weird.
that.
Finish, or it obviously just felt like he had to say it straight away.
I don't know about you guys, but I just think he's talking shit because he's been playing shit. Like, I don't get the whole narrative that he's been thrown under the bus by the club.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what's going on behind doors, do you? You don't know how he's been treated, and he is obviously one of the, if not the best players that the Premier League has seen for a long time, consistently over years. So I think for him to be saying something like that, he's obviously a professional as well. I think there's obviously got to be something going on because Mohamed Salah doesn't not perform unless there's something there, and he obviously loves Liverpool as well. But if he's not feeling like that, then he's obviously got to say something.
But he said it, just thinking about it, he said it because he was on the bench, didn't he? But you
Yeah,
can't.
Yeah,
Well, you touch on his professionalism. He has had moments where he does kind of brat out a little bit, you know. Think of when he played with Mane and they didn't want to pass to each other because the other one would get a goal and he wouldn't. And it's like, mate, you've not been playing well. You go on the bench. Ekatike plays, Gakpo plays. They've been doing better than you. It's like how it is. So I just think it was a load of nonsense, really, from Salah.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, what happens behind doors, we don't know. Like, obviously, we see them play once or twice a week. They're obviously training 4 or 5 times a week. So, if he's putting in a shift in the training ground, and then for some reason, yeah, maybe he's not been getting goals or assists as much as he'd like or Slot would like. But I think I'm sure he's still putting in the effort in the training
Yeah.
ground, and he is obviously a world class player. You know, if you give him the ball in front of the goal, 9 times out of 10 he's going to put it in the back of the net. So I think even if someone like Haaland, if he was having a bit of a bad spell, like to drop him would be such a big move.
Yeah, true.
It obviously is more of a statement almost. I think.
Yeah, it's not that he hasn't scored goals either this season.
No,
No,
exactly.
exactly. So yeah, it was a real big talking point in the media this week. It sort of just came out of nowhere. He sort of was looked like he was waving goodbye to the away end after, he didn't even get a minute against Leeds, did he? So
Because
yeah, and
he's
he's
going to
been
AFCON though.
yeah, he's going to AFCON. That's why he's been saying the Brighton game. He wants his parents and stuff to turn up because he thinks it might be his last game. So yeah, mental to hear it just in the fashion that it happened. It happened so quickly. Some stories unfold after a couple of weeks, but that happened in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to see such a big player around the world just sort of throwing the manager and probably just the manager, but kind of the club sort of. I wouldn't say disrespecting them, but just a bit, it was a bit like rude. It sort of looked like his head was gone because, he hadn't got a single minute. So, yeah.
If he does go now, it'll be a sad way to see his
Yeah,
Liverpool career end for somebody
exactly.
that they say is one of the best players they've ever had. For
Hmm.
him to leave on bad terms would be really, really quite sad for everyone involved in football, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But on Leeds, ever since they've gone to a five back against Man City at half time, they've been absolutely brilliant, to be fair to them. Even though they lost that Man City away game, they came back from 2 goals down and nearly got a point away at the Etihad, and then they battered Chelsea really at home, and then went toe to toe with Liverpool on the weekend. So really good from a Leeds perspective, but it's just really it seems quite toxic at Liverpool at the minute. Something needs to change there, and kind of needs to happen quickly if they even want to shout of getting in the top three at the minute because it's slowly slipping away from them because they've not got any sort of consistency at the minute. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough to see, Salah speaking to the media like that, isn't it? So yeah, very tough. But we'll move on to one of the last things we wanted to talk about, the Albion. Went to both games. The Brighton game, 2-0 up, and it's classic Brighton territory. You're 2-0 up, and you're thinking, oh, we're all gun sailing here, but you're watching Brighton over Albion. You know it's going to go downhill from there. And I said it literally, I'm not even joking. I said it as soon as Weaver got sat on his arse. I said, just hold it out until half time. And he literally, as soon as I finished my sentence, he got spun and he cut it back across and Watkins tapped it in. Classic Brighton, and I think Villa just showed their class on the day, didn't they?
Yeah. Why do we make things so hard for ourselves? Like, do you think other teams know? Or is it just like a thing amongst us
I
fans?
knew it.
Like, we
I
just
knew
know
it.
when it's like, it's 2-0. Like, every other team will probably just go on to win that game. But it's us, we just, knew we're, gonna make it hard work.
Yeah. I knew we could see before half time. Knew it. Could see it a mile off, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, when we scored the first 2 goals, I was thinking, 2-0 up, but it's not exactly as George said, all guns blazing. I'm not really sure. We had quite a fortunate goal.
Yeah,
There was a VAR check, and it was a bit of a goal mouth scramble, and it ended up in the back of the net. And then obviously Seamas gets injured, which was not good because obviously Welbeck, his minutes were being managed, so we weren't going to bring him on so early. Bring on Hinchelwood, does sort of end up scoring a goal, so it was an own goal. But I'm thinking, okay, well we've scored two bad goals. Well, we haven't exactly been outplaying them, and it was only a matter of momentum to shift, and then that's what happened.
Yeah, it was a game that could have gone either way, really. As you said, it was like our goals were shit. Their first one was all right. We've had some choice words about Weaver at right back, all of us, I think, haven't we? He's just not a right back. It does my head in, but he does do a shift there, so I don't really pick him out too much anymore. But it does annoy me. The reason I don't pick him out anymore is because I was slagging him off one game and he went and got an assist, so now I just leave him alone.
Yeah, just let him do what he wants to do.
He could just do what he wants, but he's not a right back, and Villa were just targeting that, and yeah, it could have gone either way. Brighton could have equalised at the end. I was annoyed about. Obviously, we're at the losing end of the game, but I was actually just like, I really enjoyed the game at the end of it. It was a fucking good game to go to.
Really good game.
Completely different to the one yesterday, which was just an absolute snooze fest. Took the missus, for everyone listening, took the missus to our first ever football game, and I think she hates me now because of that one. She had wet feet, she had cold feet, she didn't like the pies.
Oh my god.
I know, I couldn't believe it. And then the Albion did that, so they did me no favours, and honestly, it was just so bad.
It wasn't great, was it? I mean, as you said, the seven goal thriller. I don't mind losing games like that. You know, a competitive Villa side that went on to beat Arsenal on the weekend. So I don't mind losing to teams that have a lot of quality. It pisses me off when we lose to teams like dropped points to Leicester last season as an example, off the top of my head. But positive notes from that game. Dunkey made his 500th appearance for the club. Very happy about that. Massive accolade, and he had a little tifo yesterday. Well, call it kind of a tifo, a little flag for him, didn't he?
Yeah.
500 appearances, which was good. But another thing I picked out was, I thought Bart was really good in both games. Even though he's conceded 5-2. I think he's kept us in that West Ham game yesterday massively with two unbelievable double saves. So, yeah, I mean, he's sort of sprung into life this season. I think Urza said it in an interview. I don't know what you both think.
I think he's been unbelievable, to be fair. And I think if he keeps going on, then he's going to have, and Brighton are going to have a lot of people come knocking on the door. Mikey, you watching on telly, did you see the save against Villa when Watkins went through on goal? It was maybe the third time where he got through on, but he was offside and Verbruggen tipped it somehow. It was going top bins. I think it's one of the best saves I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
It was immense. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I said about Bart last season was even though he was relatively good last season, but I felt like he didn't. Obviously, even though we lost that game, I felt like he never really made like a game-winning save. Whereas I feel like a save like that was like, okay, he's really pulled that out of the top drawer, and he's been doing that quite a few times this season. So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I see. Because there was people sniffing about him before. If he carries on, then he's going to have a lot of admirers come January and the end of the season. But Brighton need to get Europe, I think, with me saying it with my old man. We need to get Europe, otherwise Van Ecke will go, Bart will go, and then
especially after his brace.
We'll just be constantly on this like rebuild type thing where it's like we get good players in, but they've got to adapt, and then by the time they adapt, the team's then gelling, and then it's just like a constant fuckery. We're not going anywhere really.
Yeah, I do get there, and he's added penalty saving to his book as well when he saved a penalty against Brentford as well. So really good, and Van Eck got a brace in that Villa game, didn't he? And he also got an assist yesterday. So even though he made a really poor mistake yesterday, though, really poor from his point of view. I don't know what he was doing.
Painful, mate.
Painful watch. Yeah, very much so. But yeah, we'll move on, and we got a different sort of section this week. I'll hand it over to you. We've got some quiz questions from Sterling. So yeah, take it away, mate.
Yeah, we're switching it up a bit. Thought we'll add a little bit of spice to the podcast. Some of the things we've spoken about, it's all Premier League based. Some of the things we've spoken about, some of them we haven't spoken about. But I've got 5 questions for you. You can both tell me your answers, and everyone playing at home, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Right, so Emi Buendia scored his first goal of the season against Fulham on the 28th of September 2025. But when was his last Premier League goal before that?
Oh God.
It's a tough one. There's a few easier ones. So before his first goal of the season, this season, 8th of September 25, when was his last goal before then in the Prem?
Are you looking for the month or the game or
Anything?
Month
and year.
I'll go.
Ooh, month and year.
This is a tough one.
I'll go February 2022.
No, surely not. Oh no, I don't know. That's thrown me off now.
Go with your gut. I'm thinking Norwich days. That's what I'm going with.
Maybe it is Van. You said, what did you say? February 2022.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go April 2022. Then covers it.
Oh, you've been swayed by George there. This was a tough one. You're both wrong. January 2023 versus Spurs in a 2-0 home win. Pick that out because he's, as I said, 6 goal contributions already.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's been really good this season.
Come out of nowhere. I thought he was dead, to be honest. No, actually, to be morbid, but no, I thought he was done for, and he's just come back out of nowhere. He is a really good player, so it's good to see.
100%.
Another one that we didn't speak about, obviously Spurs getting a 2-0 win versus Brentford. Well, these both are about that game. So in that game, Xavi Simons saw his first goal for Spurs, goal and an assist. In the Prem anyway, not sure if I think he might have got one in the Champions League. But how many Dutch goal scorers has there now been in Premier League history?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Have a second to think about it.
Only Premier League.
Only Prem.
Only Prem, so what's that, 1998?
Yeah, something
Is
like
that right?
Oh, God. Yeah, I think 1993.
Don't look it up. Are you looking it up, Shan?
No, I'm thinking about how many Brighton players we've had that have scored there.
Jurgen Lacardia's one.
Oh my God, DJ Lacardia.
Mate, his tunes are cold.
Oh my God, I actually don't have a clue. Give you winner will. Oh well, no, one of you that gets closest to the closest 5 either way. I'll give a point
Since
to.
the Premier League.
Who was closest for that last one? Mikey. So Mikey, you get 1 point.
Get up there. I was gonna say, I don't know. I'm gonna go like 50.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 79.
Okay. It's 2-0, Michael Cunningham. 42.
Ooh,
mate, that's well close.
It was a good guess from Mikey. A really good guess.
That's why.
This one about Brentford. How many? Obviously, another loss, and we highlighted it on the podcast quite a lot this season. When talking about Brentford away from home, another loss away from home. But how many points have Brentford got away from home this season? Out of 24. Out of 24 points available, how many points have they got away from home?
Oh, that's tough. They've been so bad away.
got the result. I've got the answer, but I'm just gonna triple check as well whilst you think.
Mate.
Okay, out what, 24 did you say?
Yeah, out of 24. Just in the Premier League as well.
Just in the Prem?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. They've been so bad away from home. I'll start it. I'll go 7.
Okay.
Ooh,
Mikey?
I was going to go 7. Let me have a think. I'll go 6.
Okay. Gonna give the answer to give the point, to the closest answer. They have had 3 points from 24 available. Only one win away from home against West Ham. So it's 3-0 Mikey. But that is absolutely shocking from Brentford. They've not even got
so bad.
So bad, isn't it?
I'm back to your Brentford fans. What's going on?
Yeah. Mikey takes 3 points. Maybe we'll keep it as a running thing, and maybe Dad could have Mikey's points when he takes back over and the special guests, because George is ever present. But we'll see. Let us know if we should keep it going. But I've got 2 more. Ruben Diaz scored a worldie. I don't know if either of you saw it. Absolute rocket, by the way. But that was against Sunderland on the weekend. But how many Prem goals does he have in his career?
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
Oh.
Do you know the answer, though?
Oh, my God. Oh.
If he's got that in his locker, he must have a few.
He hadn't scored. Oh, I'll keep it to myself because I'm 3-0 down at the minute. I'm going to go 6.
I'm going to go 8.
He's pulled one back. He's got 5.
God. Okay. We're back.
Last one. At least you got a goal, George. A point. Haaland, we mentioned, didn't we? Broke the record for fastest player for a century of goals in Premier League history. It was in just 111 appearances. Obviously, he's had 112 now after the Sunderland win on the weekend, but he didn't score in that. How many games fewer did he do it than the previous record holder? And just so it's a bit tasty, George, if you could potentially get back in this, bonus point for who it was. So, how many games fewer did he do it than the person who had the record before?
I think I've got had the record. I've got had the record. I just don't know the exact amount of games. Oh, wait. So if I say it, can Mikey not say it anymore? If I?
Oh, that's true.
Because I'm pretty certain on it.
You can't copy.
Okay. Well,
let Mikey go first.
Okay.
Because I think he's more struggling.
Would you want just the? Are we going for just the name for now or both?
No, go for both.
It literally came up on Sky Sports.
So he done it in 111 appearances.
I think I want to say like maybe 20 games. I want to say who? Oh, I don't know. 100 goals.
I'm praying you don't say it.
I feel like it's someone who's not so recent, but I'm going to say Harry Kane.
Okay. I'm going to go 17, and bonus point. I'm pretty certain it's Alan Shearer.
Okay, so
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
We'll give a point for closest and a bonus point if one of you gets it. George got the bonus point.
Yeah, nice.
And he's got the closest to it. It was 13 matches fewer than Alan Shearer.
Remontada.
Come back. Mikey thrown it away. He's done it Brighton.
Mate, we need another question. You got to give us something, mate.
Oh, I've not got another one, mate.
Right, at the end, it'll get people to keep listening. Right at the end, big question.
Yeah, think
Alright,
about
then,
it, Sterling.
I'll get a final one.
Right at the end.
As we go, I'll conjure up something.
I've
Right.
bottled that.
He's pulled it at the last hurdle. What a nightmare. Right, let's move on. Thank you for that. I enjoyed that. I think that's a good segment. I
Nice
enjoyed that.
That's great.
We'll move on to the championship. A lot of high scoring games in this division. But Sterling, you wanted to talk about the Saints getting another win under now permanent manager Tonda Eckert.
Yeah, he signed a permanent deal before the game. Might have been day before, a couple of days before, I'm not too sure. But yeah, can't say I know much about him, as we said a few podcasts ago when he took over. But he's had a really good run of games, as we said last week, and a big win for him against Birmingham, who is still above them in the league. They're in eighth, 2 points off the playoffs, but that puts Saints up to 11th and only 3 points off the playoffs. So again, just demonstrates how close it is in the league at the moment. And Adam Armstrong scoring twice in the game, bit of a championship cheat code if you want, but he's just. Dad said it, I think, a few weeks ago. He's just not a Premier League player. He's just that.
He did, yeah.
He's that guy that. Dad's spot on with that. He's that guy that can score goals in the Prem. Not score goals in the Prem, but always score goals in the Championship, and he's demonstrated it again on the weekend for Saints. So it's a big win, really, because Birmingham are looking strong.
Yeah, really strong. Massive win again, and I don't know if you saw it, but you see him booting that ball away near the end of the game. Sort of did like a Mark White, where it came over to him and he sort of just absolutely smashed it out of the ground, which I thought was quite funny. And I also saw from that game, I don't know if you also saw it as well, but that Kyogo up top, the Birmingham striker, missed from about maybe not even a yard out. It was absolutely awful, and he somehow hit it over the bar.
Do you see it, Mike?
Yeah, I think does it bounce off the woodwork or like comes off the keeper or something? It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great at all, and he's struggled since joining them, Kyogo, since joining from Stade Rennes in the French league. So everyone thought he'd be really good in this division, but I don't think he's actually got on the score sheet yet for them in the league. So massive struggles for them, but I completely agree with you with Adam Armstrong, another 2 goals, and he's such a reliable striker in this division. And he comes up trumps again to get another brace. And Saints have been on great form, and it's no surprise to see Tonda Eckert being appointed as the permanent manager, because ever since he's came in, they've found a level of consistency and they've turned their season around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the flip side, I just had here that Birmingham can't seem to get a run of form going, exactly like Saints have done. Got that run of form going and shot up the league. Birmingham can't seem to do that. It's been win, loss, draw, win, win, loss. You know, you get the gist. They just can't seem to get any sort of run of form going, and from a Birmingham point of view, they'd be frustrated because Saints were down near the relegation zone a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks ago, like a month or so ago. But point is, not that long.
Yeah,
and now they're up to 11th and 3 points off the playoffs. So if Birmingham could just put a little run together, they'd be right in and amongst it, because they've got a very good team. Who's that? What's the Japanese fella that they've got that we've been banging on about? I can't remember his name now.
Oh, yeah, I know you're on about.
I was just looking at their team, but I can't think of the bloke's name. But, they've got some really good players. They've got him, They've got Alex Cochrane, who like loads of good players, and they just need to find a bit of form, and they can push up the table, I'm sure. But I expect to see Saints up there as well, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, you'd like to think so, but it's just a bit of a yo-yo for them, isn't it?
Yeah, massive yo-yo,
That's
100%.
true. They can't seem to get any stability.
No, none, and they need it if they want any shot at the playoffs, really. So, because I'm going to speak about in a second about Watford. They're in 14th and 14th, 13th, and they could end up in the playoffs next week if they pick up a win and results go their way. Just shows how competitive this division is, and if you don't keep up consistency, you'll be stuck, behind the pack, which you really want to be in. So yeah, but we'll move on to the game I wanted to talk about. Watford with a really big win at home versus Norwich. He put up a decent fight, to be fair, under Philippe Clement, new manager, and they've had a tragic start to the season. But it's now one loss in the last 7 games for Watford, so really good from their point of view. A brace in the game for Kajurmgard.
I butchered that, Sam.
Definitely butchered. That's another one. Give it a tick.
Yeah.
He has 6 goals this season on loan from Udinese in the Italian league. So decent signing from their point of view. And I don't know if you've seen Imran Loza in the Championship this season, but he's been incredible and looked like he had a top game. He's got 6 goals, 4 assists from centre mid, and he's averaging a 7.75 on FootMob this season. So I think personally he could be Prem bound very soon, if Watford don't get promoted this season, because he looks like he's putting in, sort of nearly 8s out of 10 every single week, which is very impressive. And then they got Xavi Garcia, who joined after the sacking of, I can't remember the old manager, but he came in a couple months ago, and I've noticed he's got his fullback sort of getting in the game. They got that Nakaji and that Bowler, both on either side, and they both got assists in the game. So showing that under him they can bomb forward, get assists, and be really involved with attacks. And they're just 3 points off of the playoffs, like I just said. So 14th to 7th is separated by just 3 points. So it's really competitive. I don't know if you both think they could be in with a chance, but it's so competitive that it's so unpredictable who could actually end up in a playoff spot at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, 3 points off being 13th, 14th. Anyone's in with a chance. And Xavi Garcia with Watford, they took a while, and he took a while to kind of get going. And no, in his first few games, I don't think he got a win, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they seem to been picking up a good bit of form, which what I want. One loss in the last 7 is really good. So 100% you can see him getting up there. They've obviously got some players that you've just highlighted there that are also performing well under him, and he's a good manager. He was managing them in the Premier League, wasn't he? So he's got the experience, he knows the club. I'm sure the fans love him. So all signs point to yes, really, for Watford. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him in and amongst it. I did just want to say, I butchered that about the Japanese player for Birmingham, because I was thinking of Sakamoto from Coventry. So
I was thinking that. I was thinking that, but yeah, it's all good, mate. Yeah.
But
Do you want to say anything about Watford, Michael? Or
if I speak, big trouble. I don't talk about Watford.
We don't like Watford for reasons we're not.
Watford is erased from my memory. They're not a football
oh, right, got ya. We'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the game you wanted to talk about, Mikey. Oh God, I forgot about that. Preston North End versus Wrexham. It was a ball draw, but in the basis of a draw, it looked like a quite entertaining game.
Yeah, I think both teams. I think Preston with 6 shots on target, Wrexham with 4. They both put in a good shift. Possession slightly in Preston's favour. It's a bit of a strange one, really, because Preston have, I think they're about 5th in the table, pushing for playoffs, and then Wrexham are sort of mid-table, so not doing as
Mm-hmm.
well. But then they've got Kiefer Moore, who's I think he's now on 10 goals and assists with 8 goals, 2 assists this season. He
Nice.
scored early in the game, and then came down to another Armstrong, but Harrison Armstrong, with his first goal of the season to rescue a point for Preston, which I think their take, because Wrexham aren't an easy side. Obviously, everyone knows there's a lot of money in Wrexham. They're doing pretty well in the Championship, but
Mm-hmm.
for Preston, really, for their playoff hopes, they probably would have liked to have done a little bit better and maybe taken all 3 points there. But a pretty exciting game, and it's good for Armstrong to get on the score sheet for them. And again, Kiefer Moore, he's been quality throughout his career, and there's no
Mm.
surprise that he's still doing well in the Championship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really well.
absolutely.
Really well, and he's a top striker in this division. We saw Bournemouth before they got promoted. He was a top sort of bagsman in the division, and it doesn't surprise me that he's still going. I mean, I watched him when he got a hat trick against Coventry, and he just looked unstoppable in that game. And it looks like he's carrying on the form, which is good to see. Not just one game where he's had a good performance and then he's dropped off. He seemed to be keeping it at a consistent level. So yeah, I mean, Wrexham with the signings they've made in the summer, they'd probably expect to be a lot higher. But they have been on a good unbeaten run recently. So if they can keep that up and find that consistency and not drop off like a lot of teams near the lower end of the table, like, I don't know, Charlton, for an example, they're on a great run of form and then they were 4-0 down inside 20 minutes to Southampton. So, but is that Harrison Armstrong's on loan from Everton, I think? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not
I'm not
Because
sure.
he
sure.
came on last season, but they've got a fire there as well, haven't they? He left Brighton to
Yeah,
join them as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a competitive game of football. It is, right? Yeah.
he
So
is on loan from yeah.
a competitive
Yeah,
game with a lot of good players on either team. So to say it's a draw doesn't surprise me because I think there's a really good like equal level of quality within both sides. So
Yeah,
yeah, to
I
see a draw doesn't surprise me.
yeah I thought for a while about Preston that they're a side, even when Brighton were in the Championship, they're a side that I don't think are too far away from a promotion in the near future, shall we say? Because obviously
Mm.
Brighton have been in the Premier League for almost 10 years now, if not 10 years, almost, I think.
Mm.
almost.
Anyway, they've just been slowly building from a team that was, right down the bottom to a team that was like mid-table championship, really hard to beat, would get some good results. I remember them beating Brighton in the promotion season, or yeah, I think it was the promotion season at home. Definitely away from home because me and Dad went up there. And they're just slowly building. As you said, they've got some good players, making the most of the loan system.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think just slowly growing as a club, and they've got a good fan base behind them.
Yeah.
Deepdale, I believe it is the ground's name, is a tough place to go.
Mm.
They make a good noise up there, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Preston, really making an effort for promotion and definitely getting in the playoffs. Where are they now?
I think they're inside the playoffs, but
Yeah,
they
they're 5th at the moment,
they're fifth
Yeah,
at the minute. Yeah,
just
so
above
they're
Stoke, below Ipswich.
right,
yeah,
and they're both them teams are really good sides as well. Ipswich have been high flying. They just beat Coventry 3-0 at home.
yeah.
Don't know if it was last week or this week. I can't remember, but I know that result obviously happened, but yeah, it just shows how competitive it is and how well Preston have started to still be in the position that they're in. So I wanted to talk about just a little additional bit of a talking point. I don't know, you sent it to me, didn't you, Sterling?
It's getting
That
tasty.
Bristol City Millwall game completely kicked off at the end. It was Alex Neil, the Millwall boss, wasn't happy with something which the Bristol City gaffer Gerhard Struber said or did, and then Jason Knight stepped in, the Bristol City midfielder, and he just pushed him, and that's where it all just started off, and the benches went at it for about
Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes. I
That's what
mean,
we want, mate.
yeah, I was going to say, is that something you want to see in games in the EFL? I mean, from my point of view, I want a bit of feistiness. It adds a bit of passion about the game and
Yeah.
makes it a bit more exciting to watch. I don't know about you both.
As long as it's done in the right spirit, no one's crossing
Mm.
the line. It's
Yeah.
they're done for the right reasons, wanting to win on the football field and,
Mm.
backing your teammates and your staff up. Then yeah, I don't see the problem.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that's it looked like there was people on the floor and all sorts, wasn't it? It looked like it actually was very feisty. But we'll move on to the FA Cup. We've just seen the draw, and Brighton have got Man United away. Typical FA Cup draw for the Albion, and Crystal Palace get Macclesfield. Not shocked at all at that. It's actually rattled me that they've got them. Honestly,
Phil's is fuming.
honestly fuming about that.
Game's gone.
Game's gone completely. But we'll start off with another cup upset from Bourne Wood. Two from them now, beating Crawley and now Newport. 2 wins versus 2 League Two opposition in this competition. I mean, how much of a statement do you reckon it makes just for National League football and just for them in general?
Yeah, massive. They're doing it again, aren't they, Boreham Wood? They. I'm not going to be surprised with them anymore. I'd like to think anyway, but then they'll probably go and beat somebody. Well, I mean, they've got Brackley Town, I think, in the next round if they win.
If they win tonight, yeah.
But they'll probably get in what will be round 4 if they get through that. Somebody like Liverpool or something like that. So then I would be surprised. But yeah, it's a great advocate for non-league. They got some very good players in that squad. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but that Abdul Malik. There you go.
Yeah, he's a
This
baller.
guy here is a baller. Plays off the left, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
They got some really good players in that squad, and they look like a really good team in general. So, yeah, really happy to see that from Bournemouth, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good to see National League sides sort of proving a point and making a statement, beating sort of battering teams, you could say, because what was it, 3 or 4-1 against Crawley? Crawley might not have even scored.
3-0, I think it was.
There you go. And Newport 3-0 as well. So, it's just making statement after statement for National League clubs. But I watched the highlights of the game. It was a really good strike from King for the first goal after some really good feet from Abdul Malik to get into the position. But it was may as well have crossed the ball in for the goal. I mean, Abdul Malik had some good feet and then it ricocheted, and then the Newport player tried to clear it and he literally whipped it in the box, and then the guy volleyed it and striked it in. So diabolical defending. And then the second and third goal were also poor defending, but there were also, to be fair, good finishes and passes from Bournemouth players. And from their perspective, but Newport have to defend better, has to be said, and they have had to be defending better the whole season. Really, they've been shambolic at the bottom of League Two. So yeah, Fuchs yet to get a winning charge of the club, and it's not been a good start for him and Newport. I don't know if you've seen it, Mikey, but I don't know how you feel about Christian Fuchs being in charge of Newport, but 3 games and he's not got a win yet. What do you think about it?
I think no matter what level you're managing or playing, I think when you're not getting results, there's always going to be pressure. It's tough for anyone, but I think you got to be invested. You know you can't 3 games. Okay, yeah, not great, but we've seen, just for example, we've seen Brighton go on 10, 12 games where we've not had a win or something. You've got to stick through these moments, and obviously it gets to a point where you have to draw the line. But I wouldn't say it's anything to worry about after 3 games. But
Yeah, I mean,
hard
yeah,
to say, innit?
yeah. It's hard to say after such a short period of time, but yeah, they need something to happen quickly. That's the thing, because they're cemented down the bottom of the League Two table. So something needs to change there. But we'll move on to what you wanted to talk about, Sterling. Fleetwood, 2-2 after what was it, 120 minutes, because there's replays now, and then a 4-2 win on penalties to get the win.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Watched the highlights. Fleetwood haven't been pulling up trees in League Two by any means, but they got a really good win against Luton, who have been doing really well in League One under Jack Wilshere. So, yeah, really good for Fleetwood. 4-2 on pens. I mean, Luton will be kicking themselves a bit because the first goal was an absolute howler from the keeper. I mean, he's done a Rob Green and just palmed it into his net. Not even palmed it, just like it's a back pass, and he somehow let it in. But it was Man United loanee Ethan Ennis got a double for Fleetwood. The second goal was unbelievable. It was Quaresma-esque. Just a trivela from the outside right hand of the box. Just outside of the boot, trivelled it into the middle left hand side of the goal. It was really nice finish. But Luton, 90 plus second minute equaliser, probably thought they were going to go on with their tails up to win the game. It was Mengi with the equaliser. It was a great strike as well. So a couple of really good goals. But yeah, they didn't show on the highlights the penalties. They just showed the winning one, and Fleetwood got the better of Luton. So really good for them, and they're in the FA Cup third round, and I'll try to find out who they got if you give me a sec. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows that League Two, even though you're doing poorly in the league, you can still have competitiveness against the Luton side that have been really good recently under Jack Wilshere. And, I mean, it doesn't look like it was a great game from the Luton goalkeeper. I can't remember his name now, but he was really good for Leighton Orient in the Cup last year. Was on loan at Spurs. I'll remind myself in a second. But yeah, I mean, massive result that for Fleetwood, who would have needed that, as you said, sir. And they've been poor in League Two, and to shock sort of a big club like Luton recently, just on the basis that they've been in the Premier League recently, and to beat them at home in front of a big crowd would have been a real booster for the players that would be low in confidence after such a poor start to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good win for them, and it's Port Vale that they've got in the next round away. So bit of a grim one, not one that the fans would be looking forward to much, but yeah, really good, and some beautiful FA Cup games as usual. We love the FA Cup, don't we?
Love the FA Cup, and it always has some incredible stories going on with it, and maybe Macclesfield can shock Palace at home. That would make my year. That would,
Hopefully,
if that happens. So hopefully, but there was some League One action on the side of the FA Cup games, which you've got here, Mikey. A really good game between Cardiff and Huddersfield. 5-goal thriller, which Cardiff got the better of in the end.
Yeah, I think it's been classic of Cardiff this season. They're sitting top of the table, 1 point ahead of Bradford, I believe. A little bit too late for substitute Joe Taylor. He came on about the 60th minute, scored a goal for Huddersfield, more of a consolation goal than anything. Obviously that late on, but I don't know if you've seen. I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name. Youssef Salek.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, Danish player. He's come over to Cardiff. Was it last season? And he is bagging goals. He scored a brace in the match.
And an assist, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's got. I think for Cardiff now, he's got nearly coming up to 20 goals, in about 33 appearances.
Very good.
It's obviously quite a star player for them, and he's obviously showed his quality again against a Huddersfield side that aren't doing too good this season. But yeah, I think it was a good match for the neutrals, and all the Cardiff City fans will be happy.
Yeah, it's only more recently that Huddersfield haven't been doing great. They had a good start to the season, didn't they, George?
Yeah, three games without a win now, because you spoke about them that they'd had their form come back to life, but it seems like we've got a jinx whenever we say it. They're on a good run of form, and they start going on a bad run of form.
Yeah,
So I was going to mention that select guy up top for Cardiff a couple of weeks ago, because he was one of the three. I don't remember. It was last week, Stone, and I said about the Cardiff players, the youngsters, and he was one of them that scored. And him getting a brace and an assist sort of makes you have to talk about him, because he's been on such a good run of form. He scored last week, as I just said, and a brace and an assist in this game just boosting what's a really top quality young side which Cardiff have, and doesn't surprise me which that they're top of the table at the minute, and three wins on the bounce, I'm pretty sure, so high flying at the minute.
We'll have to keep an eye out for him. It does show, doesn't it, that it's a really good result for Cardiff.
Yeah, massive result for them, and you know, as we say a lot, you need the consistency, and they'll need it to stay top of the table, because a lot of teams will be sniffing about and wanting to take that spot off them very quickly. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But we'll move on to the National League. A game you wanted to talk about, Sterling, was Scunthorpe Tamworth. Both sides on decent runs of form, actually, recently, and Scunthorpe a little bit on the worse end of the form. But they sort of proved that wrong against Tamworth and got a really good home win.
Yeah, I'll probably butcher this bloke's name, but Colton Abazuno.
I think you've done well. I
The
think you've
best
done
I'm
well.
going to do, to be honest. Yeah, 2 goals off the bench, won in the game, Scunthorpe. So he'll be buzzing with that, and so will the manager. He obviously has made the right call there, bringing him in. I think it was 70 odd minutes, and yeah, 2 late goals. So really good. Puts Scunthorpe up to 6th in the league. As you mentioned, they weren't on the best run. They were on 3 games without a win in the league, so it was a much needed win in front of their own fans. On the flip side, Tamworth, a team that we've not spoken in a great deal about, I think only maybe once when they were in the Cup, either the FA Vase, or is it called FA Trophy now, isn't it? Not Vase.
Yeah, well, FA Cup or FA Trophy, one of the two.
Yeah. So it was one of those two. But yeah, they're struggling. It was only a own goal from Joe Starbuck, great name by the way. That got them the goal, so they weren't really in the game. And just looking at them in the table, they're sitting in 13th, so probably be safe from the drop. But
Yeah.
the real highlights are -8 goal difference, having only scored 27 and conceding 35.
Yeah.
That's the main problem for them there.
Yeah, that sounds like a big problem. And, when you're conceding, well, they're not scoring a lot of goals, it doesn't look. And when you're not scoring a lot of goals, it's very hard to win a game of football, isn't it? Because then you've got to shut down a team, really, haven't you? And try not concede as many goals as the other team. It's very Michael Owen, but it's very hard to win games of football without scoring goals. And Tamworth need to do that more often if they want to be in and around the playoff spots, because there have been a few times this season, but inconsistency is a term. Consistency is such a big thing, like we always say, and if you can't keep it up, then you won't be near the top. And Tamworth, not long ago in the National League North, I think, maybe even South, I can't remember, but I think it's only their second season up in the National League, so they won't be wanting to go back down anytime soon. So yeah, it's a blip, and hopefully they can turn it around.
Yeah, you're never going to do well when your goal difference looks like that. It is Michael Owen to say, but it's just the facts, isn't it, Mikey? Like you can't expect to get promoted out of a really good league like National League when you're on -8 goal difference.
No, not going to happen, is it?
No,
Not a
exactly.
chance. Not a chance. But yeah, we'll talk about Aldershot now, Mikey. A really, really entertaining game. 2 late goals to beat Altrincham, who's sort of Una reversed from last week. It might have been last week or the week before. I don't remember. I think
Yeah,
you
I
remember
spoke
me
about it,
saying,
didn't I?
yes, Altrincham got 2 goals in the 91st and 95th minute, and it looks like it's happened to them Uno reverse, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think I think Altrincham have got 4 wins in their last 6 matches.
Nice.
Aldershot coming off the back of 8 league defeats in a row, which that is
Yeah, it's bad.
that is bad.
Very bad.
But Altrincham scored around just after half time. I think about the 60th minute. Looked like it was going to be another loss for Aldershot, another week of misery. But in the last 3 minutes of the game, it all turned on its head. An equaliser in the 89th minute, and then Tyler Frost bagging a 92nd minute curler in injury time to get them that win that they needed, and hopefully get them off the bottom of the table, really, because I don't think I think they're maybe one below, one above bottom even.
Yeah.
But yeah, they needed that result. It's massive, and hopefully it turns around their form, because you've got to be asking questions after 8 league defeats in a row. I think congratulations to any Aldershot fans that have actually stuck with them, really, because I would have lost my head after about 3. So
And that's the type of result and the manner of result in which they've won that will actually maybe. No, you can't really say for definite, but you'd think that would give them the kick up the arse to, go on a run and give them that self-belief and that real push. If you win a game 1-0, 2-0 and it's comfortable, yeah, obviously good for confidence, but to do it in that manner is really good for confidence.
Yeah, good motivator.
100% good motivator, and they've massively needed it, as you said, Mikey. I did see on one of their social media pages, just like a fan account, that it was sort of just like building up. It was 5, 6, and then 7, and then it was like just looked like it was going to go up and up, and then thank God, last minute winner, last minute antics sort of changed that around. Crankshaw scored again. He was the guy that got the brace, Sterling, when Altrincham did the comeback. He got a start and he scored again. So he's on a good run of form, actually, to be fair. I remember him getting that brace. And also, I've got some good players. That Barrett that plays for him, when I watch a bunch of amateurs, he's always highlighted by Mark White for how good of a finisher he is. And he said it before a game to their goalkeeper, Max Folks. He was like, make sure you're always on your line, because he can do his thing where he just chips it all of a sudden from like wherever, and he does it from like outside the box, 5 yards outside the box, and he just dinks him. Absolutely incredible. So
Yeah.
I think that he's a top player. Got that Tatek in midfield. He used to play for Reading. That Gondor, he rings a bell. Can't remember where from, but he got on the score sheet in the game. And that Boyce Clark, I think, used to play in goal for Reading, and Nightingale's at Wimbledon. So they've got some good players that I'm aware of. So, if they can get those players into form, then, they shouldn't be a National League South side Aldershot. They're a good side, and
Yeah.
they're known to be in and around this division. So, yeah, they need that win badly, because 7 losses on the trot is tragic.
Very.
You talking about Boyce Clark there? I think he actually bagged the assist for the winning goal.
Oh, really? Wow, Route 1. Route
Yeah.
1. Proper football. Fair play. But, yeah, I mean, great result, and they needed that. So, to win it in the manner that they did, as you both said, could be sort of a kick up the arse for them, because losing 7 games in a row is tragic. So, yeah, but we'll move on to the last game I wanted to talk about in the National League was Yeovil getting another win with Billy Rowley, Sterling. You spoke about it last week. Another win against a really tough Hartlepool side who've only lost twice there all season. So, and York was the only other team to beat them. So to beat them at their place, with York being the only other side, and York are absolutely flying, makes a statement in itself, doesn't it? So to get, Billy Rowley and his assistant manager were in, I think, 2 leagues below, maybe even 3, just less than a month ago. To change the team around so quickly, to get 2 wins on the bounce after their form was horrendous. Do you think that's massive credit to him and maybe even the players to clock on to his system so quickly?
Yeah, definitely. They obviously needed the change, and what they're doing seems to be right. I always think with like a new manager coming in and fortunes turning that quickly, whether it is actually the manager and their philosophy just is so much better, or whether it was just the players just needed some sort of change and just didn't gel with the manager before. In hindsight, it's probably a mixture of the both. But yeah, really good for Yeovil. We say it every week. Don't want to keep churning out the same stuff, but they really should be higher up the league. So
100%.
no surprise that they've got a manager that seems quite confident in this Rowley and competent, that can actually take them up the league.
Yeah, it's massive for them, and I've seen fans on Twitter saying, they're really loving him, and they're already, happy to have him there already, because the manager before, I think he's already lasted longer than the manager before him, which just shows how tragic he was before that, because he's literally been there for 2 games. So, but on the basis of the game, I watched the highlights. Great first goal, well worked, and a really good finish by Aaron Jarvis. And the second goal was unbelievable. I'll send it to both of you after if you want to see it. But Luke McCormick got the assist for the first goal, and then he got the assist for the first goal, and then his individual goal, gets the ball and he absolutely skins 2 defenders, literally like he's going through the turnstiles at the football, like, get out of my way. Cuts inside, and then it's literally the curl on it's absolutely outrageous. Rolls along the floor all the way into the bottom corner from about 25, 30 yards out, and he got man of the match and earns himself a place in the National League Team of the Week. So really doesn't surprise me, because the goal he scored, as I said, I'll send it to you after, was top draw, got to say. But
I think I saw somewhere that he's got quite a few goals and assists
yeah, I
this
think
season as well, hasn't
I forgot to put it down on notes, but I think he's got like 6 or so goals and a lot of assists as well. So he's having a really good season, Luke McCormick, and one of Yeovil's best players this season. And on the basis of that result, I said it about Hartlepool and how tricky they've been to beat at home this season, just their second loss. And it also ended a 7-game unbeaten run they had, which was ended by Yeovil. So, on their point of view, it's a good level of consistency that they had, which is always a good thing. But they don't want to be like other teams in this division when, Aldershot is a prime example. You don't want to be going on runs of form like that after, your unbeaten run ends in such a way. So, yeah, really good result for Yeovil, and I don't know if you have anything to say about it, Mikey, but Yeovil shouldn't really be in the position they're in, and I don't know if you watched them in championship days and stuff, but they should be way higher up in the Premier, shouldn't they?
Yeah, no, I've got a couple of mates actually who are Yeovil fans, and
Nice.
got to feel bad for them at the moment, because I remember I'm sure they've played at the Amex a few times. I remember.
Yeah, I've watched them at the Emirates. Yeah, and I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously used to be, and I guess you could consider them still quite a big club, but um, you know that's tough because I imagine most of the fans of Yeovil have been there long enough to see that decline. So hopefully things do pick up for them.
Yeah, you hope so because you don't want them back down in the National League South. Because I remember watching them play against Eastbourne Borough, and I was just like, I've gone from watching them play at my favourite club Brighton at the Amex to watching them play at Eastbourne Borough. I was like, how has this happened? What?
Fall from
It's
grace.
it's football, isn't it? And
Yeah.
when that game happened, I was absolutely amazed. But anyway, we'll move on to the National League South. That's a nice little cue to move on to it. I, I was amazed by Western Supermare getting a 2-0 away win at Chelmsford after, Chelmsford had been in the media for their rivalry win at Braintree, their old manager being the old Braintree manager, had a bit of feistiness to it, which when they got the win, brought a bit of, they're in a bit of media, probably made a bit of money from revenue of the TV and stuff like that. But Western Supermare brushed that aside and got a 2-0 home win. And we're hoping they got a good cup draw, but we just seen they've got Grimsby Town away. Proper away day for them. But
Yeah.
you wanted to speak about it, didn't you, Sterling?
Yeah, it's not a bad draw though. To be fair, Grimsby
Still
League
2
One.
leagues above. So
Yeah, exactly. League One side. So
League
is that
2.
League Two? Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
League Two. So yeah, really good for Western Supermare. It'll be a good test. They've been doing well in the National League South, and it's for the fans. Grimsby is maybe not a nice away day, but a really big club. Obviously it could have got a lot bigger, but I think they'll
Beat
have
Man United.
yeah, exactly. They'll have a good time there, and it'll be a good game. As you say, they beat Man United this season, so yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. And it was good that they got the win against Chelmsford because they're one of the teams that I predicted to be in and amongst it when you and Dad didn't. So
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
feeling for him this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're the only other side that play at this level as well as Macclesfield. So they sort of had opposite draws in terms of luck, really. Macclesfield getting Crystal Palace and then Western Supermare getting Grimsby a bit, what's that? 4 levels above, so they probably got the unluckier. But it means they've got a higher chance of getting into the fourth round, 100%, because Western Supermare have been very high flying in the National League South, and I think it would be a massive statement for non-league football if Western Supermare went away from home to beat Grimsby at their own place. So yeah,
Yeah,
huge credit to Western Supermare to get that win and be one of the lowest ranked sides still left in the competition, representing the podcast, really
yeah,
making a statement for themselves. But one other thing to talk about from the National League South, I think it's gone massively under the radar just from us not talking about it, Sterling, is Horsham, who we've literally not talked about a lot at all. And their run of form is absolutely mad. They continued it this week, 3-1 away win against Chippenham, who have been tragic. But it makes it 16 matches unbeaten. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I mean, for a promoted side from from the division below to go into a new league, how impressive do you think that is?
yeah. That's crazy. I couldn't believe it either.
Unbelievable,
To be
isn't it?
honest. Mikey, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, as you say, impressive for a newly promoted side, and even for a top team, even if it was the Premier League, even if it was Man
Yeah,
City doing that, you'd be thinking, wow, they're
Yeah.
on some form. But yeah, it's impressive to see how long it continues.
I don't know how we've managed to overlook that for so long, but yeah,
yeah. I could,
13 unbeaten in the league, 7 wins, 6 draws, 0 losses. You got here is incredible, and 16 matches in all competitions, just incredible. And as you say, Mikey, for a newly promoted team, it's even more special because I think we
Unbelievable.
all had them right down the bottom in our predictions, didn't we? So it's not a team that we haven't spoke about to each other though, or about other games. Because we have mentioned them that they're doing really well, but it's maybe just not on the podcast. We haven't highlighted as much as they deserve.
Yeah, I think it was on the basis of that their games weren't very high scoring. They're sort of like, very sort of like Brighton. They're very close games, but they're getting on the end of a point or three. So unbelievable from their point of view. And I think the reason, as I just said, is that we've not touched on it is, they've been such competitive games that they've played and, like a 2-1, a 3-2 or a 1-all, etc., etc. So yeah, about the game that they played though, Reece Meekins with another goal. He's their top goal scorer of 5 goals, and Danny Barker in the National League South Team of the Week for his performance. And Chippenham's struggles continue. Back to the bottom of the table because Borough won the other day. So it keeps going. It gets bad, worse and worse is the way of putting it for Chippenham.
Yeah.
But I was looking through Orsham's team, just to touch on it briefly, and they've got a lot of players that I'm aware of. James Hammond, Reece Murphy, Greg Lua, Leon Gravata, Ricky Aguirre, Isaac Philpott. They're all players that I'm aware of. So, I mean, I'm surprised they're that high up. But, to be on the basis of 16 matches unbeaten is mental. I don't think, they've got players that I'm aware of, but I don't think them players would sort of correlate into a 16 match unbeaten run. So
Yeah.
massive credit to the manager. Massive credit to the manager. He's clearly working wonders there. But we'll move on to the last league in the Isthmian Premier Division. And you've got down here, Sterling. Simon will be smiling somewhere in Australia because Cray Valley Paper Mills. I don't know if you watched at the start of the season, Mikey, but he put Cray Valley Paper Mills top of the league, and they're one of the teams to go down at the start of the season. So when that happened, we've been keeping a close eye on them, and we've kept a close eye on them this week because they got a big 3 points away at Chichester, didn't they?
Yeah, they are pretty rubbish, but they're on a good run of form. Unbeaten in their last four, 3 wins, 1 draw. Yeah, really good win away at Chichester, albeit Chichester are another bad team in this division. Dad has had an absolute stinker there, but yeah, a good win nonetheless. Chichester, without a win in 5 games, only have 1 win in 9. I mean, we spoke about how good Horsham have been. There's the flip side of it. There's big reason we haven't spoken about Chichester because they are pretty woeful and they desperately need some things to change in their form. But it's looking very tight down there, so it's not to say that it couldn't change. And Cray Valley, they're slowly working their way up the table. Dad will hope, especially, but 3 points away from the relegation zone. We've got a couple of players. This Ajakanye, probably the best I'm going to get with that pronunciation. With a brace, and Akambi with the other in the game. They're both their top goal scorers, respectively, with 7 for Akambi and 5 for the other fella. I'm not going to attempt his name
Don't
again.
try again.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, 2 really struggling teams, and one that obviously on paper they looked better as well. Because I think we had Chichester down, and Dad wasn't. It was pretty crazy to put them that high up, but to have them surviving wasn't crazy. So they're obviously the better team on paper. Cray Valley Paper Mills.
Yeah, the better side, and Simon's open that anyway. But yeah, I think they've picked up a bit of form off the top of my head. Looking at the table earlier, I think they've gone 4 unbeaten now. And before that, they were absolutely tragic. They hadn't won in God knows how long. They had a decent start to the season, and you thought maybe Simon's right with this, but after that, they were on a tragic run of form. But 4 games unbeaten now. could be signs that they're starting to get to maybe a mid-table spot, but I very much doubt they'll be winning the league this season. I've got to be honest. So
I don't even know if it's mathematically possible at this point.
yeah, seeing how good Folkestone and Victor are, it probably isn't, because yeah, they beat Brentwood on the weekend, Sterling. So that pushed them even further forward because that's first v second. So yeah, but we'll move on to the last game. I wanted to talk about hashtag United getting a 4-0 home win to Canvey Island. 1 point away from the relegation zone now. 3 games unbeaten. You know, they're starting to pick up a bit of form. A lot of sort of information about this game because there's been sort of transfers and sort of sagas around the club recently. Luke May Parrott got a hat trick in the game as well, as they say in the on the YouTube channel, feed the parrot and he'll score. He certainly did that in the game. It's 8 goals for him now this season. Very good record for him. So yeah, and they've got 7 goals in 2 games. Hashtag. They've started to find the back of the net more than they had before this run of form that they've sort of started to bring up because, you know, they lost like 6-0 to Chatham as an example and, you know, were doing very poorly, but they've gone 3 games unbeaten, which is always a good thing to have. But they did lose a key player in Badley Sack, Sterling. It was the guy that scored a brace against Lewis at the Dripping Pan.
Oh, yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player, and he went to Welling. He signed for them, and he scored on his debut in their 2-1 win at Whitehawk. So a good signing from Welling's point of view. Yeah, not a bad signing because remember I sent it to you. They sold Femi Akinwende. Another move. He's gone to Potter's Bar.
Yeah, it's bizarre what's going on.
I don't know. It's like a Joe Taylor sort of saga with him at the minute, isn't it? It's just moving from
where Potter's Bar again.
Bottom of the league.
Yeah, but so it don't really make sense. He's one of the best players in the league.
Like Mikey said, I prefer not to speak. But anyway, on the basis of Canvey, they got a new manager in Gary Kimball. Who was good at Whittam Town. I don't know if you know that James Beardwell guy. He loves it at the Whittam Town games. But he started off well for, you know, a side that's really down the bottom. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. So it's doing a lot better than the manager before him. But a very disappointing result for the Tails. And they both need to liven up, really. They're 19th and 21st, respectively. So they need to find some consistency. But yeah, I mean, Mikey, what do you think of hashtag as a club in this division? Because they're getting the popularity, but you know, they're not finding the results at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, just to talk about hashtag, I think it's amazing how they've, you know, come about as a club.
100%.
And to be even at this level, I don't think anyone would have ever imagined. So it's tough because if you look at it in that, you know, if you put everything into perspective, I think, you know, oh well, you'd be grateful for where they are, how far they've got. But then at the same time, maybe you think, oh, we could have picked up a few more points here and there. As you say, they are still in the relegation zone, down at the bottom of the table. So I think, you know, a couple more good games. Keep feeding the parrot, and maybe they'll get out of the relegation zone and, you know, get a decent finish for the season. But we'll have to see. One to keep an eye on.
100%, yeah. You have anything to say about it, Sam?
No, I haven't because I've thought of another question for the tiebreaker.
Oh, here we go. So I forgot about that.
We'll finish on this, shall we? That's what I was doing. I was mustering it up.
Here we go.
We'll finish on this to end the episode. Currently in the Premier League, Everton have creeped all the way up to 6th position, so a European spot. The question is, for the win, only 1 point up for grabs. Closest to the answer wins. When was the last time Everton played in Europe?
Oh my god. Oh.
I'm gonna count down from 3, and you're gonna say it at the same time because I don't want you to be swayed.
What were we saying? Like the season or like how many years?
Yeah, no, do the season. So,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
you know what I mean. Split between two.
Okay.
I've got no idea.
I don't really, but
I'll have to ping it from 40 yards and Vinny, no. If it goes top bins, mate.
All right.
All right, you got one, both of
yeah,
you.
I'm
All
ready.
right,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
2012, 13.
2010.
So George 2012, 2013.
I went
Mikey
2010.
2010, 2011.
2009, 2010.
Okay. The last time Everton played in European competition was the UEFA Europa League and this surprised me as well, 2017-18.
Oh,
So
done it!
George wins 3-0 down. Oh,
Oh,
he's done it.
3-0 down. He's done it.
Absolute wins.
The first winner of the Football Pyramid Talk podcast quiz.
There you go.
oh, that it
He's
happens
1-0
to
up.
us, Mikey.
Mikey, if you come back on, you have to get redemption, mate.
Yeah. I'm rapidly falling out of love with football. That makes me
Yeah,
sad.
it's now
20, did you say
horrendous.
2016?
2017, 2018. Last
Nah,
time
that's
Really? I
got to be
Everton
don't.
played.
lies, mate. That's got to be
I was,
lies.
mate, my good old friend ChatGPT wouldn't lie to me.
That's
It wouldn't
crazy.
lie. Yeah,
Fair
it's
enough.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not expect that. I did not
Yeah.
expect that. I
A
thought it'd
nice
be
way
like
to end it.
Moy. I thought it'd be like Moy's era when they were.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
was thinking that. I was thinking it would be
that's
like
why I went. That's why I
2008,
went that
9.
era. But there you go. That's the end of the episode and the end of the first podcast quiz. I like that. We should definitely keep doing that.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, a little bit of a longer episode, but I think there's just been so many talking points, which is a valid reason to have maybe a 5 minute, 10 minute longer episode today. But thank you again, Mikey, for coming on again. We will probably see you very soon, mate.
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
we'll be back next week with another special guest. So stay tuned. And yeah, it's goodbye from me, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye
See you
from me.
later.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
Bye bye.